Hello, friends. How are you today? I hope you're doing well. I wanted to come to you today to talk about chapters. I do not remember the numbers. Obviously, I don't remember the numbers, but they are called Simulation Theory, Never Ending Red Eye, and A Slight Upgrade. I almost forgot that I didn't do those chapters, and I'm so busy thinking about other things that I might forget, so I want to do it right now. Simulation Theory basically tells the story of the time that I developed permanent psychedelic visuals. I think that's the best way of putting it. Permanent psychedelic visuals from ingesting a small amount of mushrooms. I did not go on a mushroom trip by any means. I got the tiniest little bit, like this big of a stem and a cap, and it took like overnight, but the next day I woke up and I had these extraordinary visuals, and I still do to this day. The thing that affects it the most is the UV index of the sun or something. I'm not exactly sure what about the UV index affects it, but I know that it can take the visuals anywhere from something that looks like a Pixar movie to something that looks like one of those fancy like 4K TVs, or something that kind of looks almost edible. Like I want to take a bite out of every building. It looks almost like Gumby, like gummy. I can't explain it, but it makes everything look like I want to eat it, which is really interesting. And the things that affect it mostly are like oil, fat, too much sodium. But even like the fat from salmon makes it a little bit worse, but not the fat from an avocado. So I'm not exactly sure how that works. And then there's certain things like blueberries and corn that make it better, which is interesting. And I know that I was so happy that my friend Tony also knew what I was talking about. Like the visuals are a very common part of like a psilocybin ingestion, but most people do not have them stay, and most people's visuals kind of are wavy. So if you're a person who ingests a mushroom and you have those wavy visuals that kind of look like a TV trying to find its signal, it's your brain trying to find a signal, and that usually indicates a calcification of the pineal gland. So that means that you would want to do things in order to clean up that area so that the next time you go back to the mushrooms, you'll be able to get the visual of like turned up definition of your vision, because that is that is what the mushrooms are supposed to do. If you trip on them and ingest a recreational amount, they're going to give you a recreational reaction because they're going to do whatever your body is really looking for them to do. So that's how sometimes people could take mushrooms over and over and over and over again and really never benefit medically from them. Marijuana as well, because I ingest both of those things. I don't ingest mushrooms regularly just because they're not easy to get, but I really do like the idea of microdosing them. But if you do that as medicine, if first you respect them as sacred plants and then approach them as medicine, they really do have effects that are supernatural. They truly are magical. And that is the simulation theory. The next chapter is called The Never Ending Red Eye, and I basically try to pass about 4 years of living in the car while explaining the mundane minutia of everyday life of living in a car, which is vastly different, but not that different than everyday life of living in a house. It can get tedious and monotonous and feel unbelievably long. And A Slight Upgrade is basically the story of how I'm able to get out of a town that I'm tired of into another town not that far away because I get some work done on my car. And the chapters that I'm going to read next are about 2 attempts of me to buy a new car. One is a Lincoln, and the chapter is called The Lincoln Project. And the other one is a Mazda Tribute, and I've entitled the chapter Not an Escape. And so I will be reading from those very soon, and I will come back to tell you the story, the saga of my Mercedes and how I tried to get it fixed a couple of times before I ended up trying to buy a new car. And that is all coming soon. I have no idea how to end this. Anyway, I love you guys.